We got to die and get preached to? Can we have just one or the other? I don't mind dying and I don't mind being preached to, but I'm not going to do both. Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan. Okay. Titan is Saturn's largest moon. I don't think we're going to be attacking a moon. There were Titans in Greek mythology. Some shit about, Zeus's dad was a Titan, right? And so he impregnates his wife. Kronos, I think, was Zeus's dad's name. Impregnates his wife. And every baby that comes out, he's jealous. Oh my God! I think there was a prophecy. There always is in fucking Greek mythology. We're talking about how one of his sons was going to kill him or some shit. So he eats every baby she delivers, right? Every boy, at least. Like, fucks her, gets her pregnant. She carries the baby for 9 months. Baby comes out and he eats her. He eats the baby. Like, you think the wife would be getting pissed about this at some point. It's like, what the motherfucker? I didn't just carry this shit for 9 months so you could, save a little bit on your grocery bill. Bitch. That aside. She got tired of this shit. So, she gave him a rock. When Zeus was born, she gave him a rock in swaddling clothes and said, here's Zeus, eating. So I guess, like, she was, like, somewhat on board. Like, each baby that comes out, she wraps him up in swaddling clothes and hands him to Kronos and he eats the motherfucker whole, not chewing, apparently. That's just what we can infer from this. So anyway, he swallows this rock that he thinks is Zeus. Zeus grows up, kicks his ass, kills him, and, rips open his stomach and pulls out all of his brothers and shit, Poseidon and Hades, Which is why Zeus gets the best job, because those two motherfuckers got eaten, Not that Zeus had anything to do with it. Anyway, I think I've gotten a little off topic here. We're talking about Attack on Titan. The point is, Titans are fucking idiots. The second point is, how do you not know you're eating a rock? Because that's just fucking stupid. The third point is, I don't think the Japanese give a shit about Greek mythology. I could be wrong. I don't think they do. So I don't think Attack on Titan has anything to do with Greek mythology. What do I think this series is about? I have no fucking idea. Clearly. I spent 2 minutes talking about Greek mythology. I don't know what the fuck this show's about. So let's just get into it. Well, this feels very ominous. Maybe this is tight and it's getting ready to get attacked? Oh, shit. Really? That's not what you want to see. That reminds me of one of the most horrifying images I've ever seen in comics. If I remember, I'll tell you. Yeah, Jesus. Hey, man. What you guys doing over there? Lovely. I guess we ain't fucking with that, whatever that is. Look at that motherfucker. Hey, man, what you guys doing in there? I'm always prepared, sir. These some big boys. Well, if we practice it, why are you giving these orders now? I guess, you got to reinforce shit in the military. Especially these people are probably amateurs. If they're a resistance group, they're not really organized military, so that would make sense. Hey, this is fucking cool so far. I have no idea what the hell's going on, but it's cool. He's just chilling, too. Yeah, he could probably do with putting some clothes on. Why do I think they're getting ready to get smashed? That's how you start some shit off. 2 ominous beginnings in a row, right? Before I start this again after the commercial, one thing that I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of exposition this first couple episodes. So this video may be shorter than what we eventually get because I'm going to have to be reading this exposition, So we'll see what happens. But I went a little past commercial. I saw they're already doing the exposition dump. Or not. Maybe that was just a opening title. I just saw it talking about something about, 2,000 years in the future. Motherfuckers dreaming about the apocalypse. Hey man, I was sleeping good. What the fuck you want? That's when you know you're sleeping good. Where am I? Oh, so the walls keeping these motherfuckers out? I thought the walls had just caged them in because they were talking about, you know, the embarrassment of being caged in, right? But I wonder if those walls are actually keeping them out, you know? I assume these are Titans, the big boys. Yeah, have Dad check me because I was crying? Like, my masculinity! Yeah. I guess everybody knows. What's the problem with that, man? Damn, motherfuckers be hating about alcohol. Jesus. Yeah, so quit hating. Damn, man. Yeah, I ain't never had a problem fighting drunk. Of course, I've never fought drunk, but, you know, I assume I wouldn't have a problem. I'm sure they could do plenty if they were properly motivated. This is outrageous. Apparently this makes him very angry. You're just a kid. Why don't you calm down? We're just trying to keep the status quo here, kid. Man, he wants to change the system. You're a little young to be having an existential crisis. Yeah. I have a feeling he's going to be doing a lot about it, asshole. Look, this kid's got big plans here. Sounds like a dangerous job. If you're leaving the walls, which I would never do, you're probably fucked. She's just trying to keep you alive, motherfucker. I was saying this with Berserk. There's a lot you can do with sound effects and still a still image, right? To save on your animation budget. There's a lot you can do there. Sounds fool the brain. Even this, see how it's just a still image, but you're just doing a camera pan? You have it's what you see in documentaries when they have a Civil War photograph. And they just have the camera pan across the photograph. Yeah, motherfuckers got wrecked. How dare you go outside the walls? Hey man, what the fuck you think? It, huh? Yeah, here's the shoebox of what's left of your son here. He got stepped on by, you know, I guess what is a Titan. Yeah, hell, that's even less than I thought. Damn. I was gonna guess a leg, but whatever. These motherfuckers got wrecked. This is the Survey Corps. They're painting a pretty picture here. Pretty scary. Should have stayed at home. Yeah, that's right. Hold on to anything you can. God damn, look at this, man. The voice acting and the animation are really painting it, like I said. You can feel the emotion here. It'd be very easy for this to be a cheesy scene. Tell me he did something to help the cause, right? Kind of cheesy. But you got the fucking great voice acting, you got the great animation, and it's not cheesy anymore. Hey, man, that's not very comforting. But for going through it. Yeah, that's right. Hit this motherfucker. Yeah, I'm kicking your ass. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, get your ass back out here. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it, bitch? I was gonna say, no matter what the situation, god damn, you talk about wrecked. She just wrecked his ass. One hand. Shut the hell up. You're gonna have to get through me to do it. What I was gonna say was, no matter how bad the situation, you're always gonna have somebody bitching about it, right? Just tale as old as time. And it just makes the world feel more realistic. It's great world building. Because somebody who's bitching will give you some good exposition, right? Because whatever they're bitching about is information you didn't have before. Plus, it feels realistic because we all know that that's what people do. Whining ass. Yeah, damn, Mom. Jesus. Really? You gonna pull my ear? I think that sounds like some bullshit. Yeah. You didn't pull an ear, you just know our personalities. Inland, right? You know, the 250 kilometers. I mean, you can literally, it'd probably take a couple days to go back and forth, right? If you're traveling by foot, especially. Snitch ass. The fuck's wrong with you? Hey, man, is this really an issue? Like, I look like I'm about 10 years old. We don't have to worry about this for like 8 years, right? Because you people are assholes? You ain't talking to this kid at nothing, man. He's very passionate. Somebody's been brainwashing this motherfucker, indoctrinating him with their ideology. He didn't just come up with this shit. Who have you been talking to? Ship? We got ships in here? Is there like a river? Or, probably a river. We saw the lines, right? Those lines are probably rivers. Yeah, that means he's never making it back alive. This dude ain't never coming back, man. He's done. See you later. Let other people risk their lives for us. God damn. I don't think he had any dinner, did he? He seems like a hothead. Hey, I kicked his ass. What more am I supposed to do? 3-on-1. So I'm supposed to hit back when it's 3-on-1. And you're bigger than me. Kid's making points. See, I win. I don't care how much you kick my ass. I win. What the fuck you doing? Apparently he does want to get his ass kicked. Motherfucker like this. What you gonna do, motherfucker? Oh shit, so she's very strong, right? She's like Buffy. She threw him all the way across the fucking street. You damn right, man. Apparently she can stomp some ass. Most epic stories... Yeah, we know you can stand there and just take my damn hand. Most of these epic stories come in threes. Have you noticed that? 3 characters. 3 main characters. It's a very powerful number. There's a reason why that is, but I've already had one long sidebar, so... That's right, it's taboo. I don't know why it's surprising that there'd be rivers. I mean, you know, it makes sense. Yeah, you're snitch ass. I wouldn't mess around with her. Apparently her hands are fire. Look, dude, we're just trying to get through today, man. Tomorrow is tomorrow's problem. Oh, shit. Well, it's like he's spoken into existence. That can't be good. Well, shit. Here we are back to the beginning. Yeah, that's not good. They're getting bigger. Yeah. This feels like a problem. Hey, guys. This show's hauling ass. I thought we'd get at least a couple episodes where we have shit like this happening. Jesus. And so Titan has been attacked. All the other ones are way smaller than this motherfucker, apparently. Lovely. Hey, guys. Yeah, like, well, I thought the dad was gonna die. Apparently, the mom's gonna die. See, I thought that what we saw at the beginning was like from a long time ago. I didn't realize they were doing some foreshadowing there. God damn. Look at this shit. This is great, man. I love the POV shot. Because they gotta be orphans, right? Yeah, let's lift the entire fucking house off our mom. I get the impulse. But damn. The fuck you guys want, man? That's the question, right? What do they want? Where did they come from? I'm thinking probably robots. Which is how you can have one bigger. They could just keep building bigger robots, right? Just fucking go. He don't seem like he listens to anybody. Thank God these things apparently don't have genitalia. Because that would be terrifying. I really thought Mom was dead. Oh, dude, I thought you were going to use your equipment to get the fucking house off her. Yeah, I don't think you're going to do anything, dude. Yep, I'm with him. Let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that's right, motherfucker. Let's ride. Hey, man. Dude's a survivor. I'm not going to hate. Trust me, I'm not hating. He's a survivor. Show don't pull any punches, man. This is episode 1. We got motherfuckers getting the Wicked Witch of the East treatment over here. The fuck you want with her? So she can't just die because they broke in. She's got to die by their hands, right? Jesus Christ. Yeah, nice cutaway. Oh, so apparently they like eating this shit, huh? Jesus. I love it when... Nice little book in there. You know, they probably could have gotten through at any point, right? It's almost like the Wraith in Stargate Atlantis. They cull humans, you know, because they feed on humans, right? But say there's a population of 5,000. They'll take 20%. They leave the other 80% so they can create a new generation of people. You know, they want the population to grow again. So, you know, they've taken 20%. So 5,000 is now 4,000, right? So they go back into hibernation for a couple generations. 2 to 3 generations. In 2 to 3 generations, the 4,000 is now 5,000 again. So they come back out, they cull them, take 20%, 5,000 now 4,000, go away for a couple generations, and so on and so on. If you took too many, if you took 50%, for instance, maybe the population would collapse, the civilization collapse, and they would die off. You come back in 2 or 3 generations and nobody's left. You can't take too many. You have to leave a society, a functioning society left. People who know how to farm, people who know how to livestock, people who know how to build. Because if you take too many, because they take a random amount. Like, they take a certain number, but it's random. Like, they don't say, okay, let's just take the old motherfuckers, right? No. So, because they're taking a random slice, they only take 20%. This could be something like that. If you want to, you know, if you enjoy terrorizing them and you enjoy eating them or whatever, then you don't want to kill them off, or there's nobody left to play with and there's nobody left to eat, right? So I wonder if that's what happened here, because they said it's 100 years since the breach. That's about 3 generations. So maybe every 3 generations they break in and fuck up some shit and kill some people, leave, let them rebuild, and then they do it again. That could be what's going on here. All right, well, this is a great start. This is one hell of a pilot episode. Information we can share so far. Okay. It looks like the walled city actually has 3 walls. And of course I can't read the captions. It's got 3 walls. Human field. Giant field. I guess maybe they just call them giants instead of titans. That's where they'd be hanging out. Okay. But no, there's something else though. Here it is. The information we can share so far. About the walls, too. Distance between each is roughly the same. 100 kilometers separate Maria and Rose. I assume those are two different cities. 130 kilometers separate Rose and Sina. From Sina to the center is about 250 kilometers. Oh, wait. So, what? No, they're talking about these are the walled cities? I see. So it's a series of cities inside this massive walled enclosure is what I think I'm seeing here. Gotcha. Oh, okay. Jesus. This makes a little bit more sense. I didn't back it up far enough. Okay, so the walls have names. The outer wall is called Maria, the inner wall is called Rose, and the smallest wall is called Sina. So these aren't cities, these are wall names. Okay. So Sina to the center is about 250 kilometers. You got 130 and then 100. Okay, I get what you're saying. I got you. So essentially, it's 250 kilometer circle is all that's left of humanity. Okay, I thought they were talking about there's 3 cities they knew about, and there's like some distance between them. Yeah, that's not very much. We're talking about something maybe the size of Delaware. Sounds like the distance between Raleigh and Charlotte, North Carolina, is about 150 miles. So that 150 miles is approximately the diameter of the circle we're talking about. That helps me put it in scale in my head. So essentially, this area, no, it's not going to fit perfectly, but essentially this area of humanity is about the size of North Carolina. Okay, that helps me put the sense of scale in my head. You can fit a lot of people in there. There's what, 20 million, 30 million people in North Carolina, something like that. You could fit millions of people in here, but how do you sustain them, right? Because any agriculture or livestock is going to take up some of the space. The amount of space you need for to feed people is 4 to 5 times the amount of space you need to house the people. So in other words, say you have an acre. In this acre, you have 100 people living in this acre. Like a building. So it's like several stories. You need 5 acres of land to support those people. That's the problem when you have a situation like this. This is a world building issue. Somebody once did this with the Divergent series. Whereas you've got the Divergent series is set in Chicago, but it's in the future, right? And it's like a walled city. It's similar to this. And they were saying the amount of people they said lived in this city would need so much space. It was like, because they have a walled city that's like about 3 to 4 miles outside the outskirts of the city. So you've got the city, 3 or 4 miles of like farmland, and then you've got the wall that protects the city, okay? And so somebody did these calculations. And the amount of food, agriculture and animals, like the livestock you would need would cover like 3 states. You'd need like 3 states worth for the amount of people they said were packed into this Chicago walled city, right? Didn't make any sense. It'd be interesting to see what the world building is like here. Like I said, you've got. Okay, I'm going to just for the sense of scale in my own brain. I'm looking up some facts here. Okay, there's 10.4 million people in North Carolina. I saw this way off. The distance from Raleigh to Charlotte, I was pretty close. 167 miles. It's 270 kilometers. Okay, so the distance from Raleigh to Charlotte is almost perfectly the distance from the outer wall to the center. Okay, so that gives me a really good sense of scale. Basically, you just take that distance and you draw a circle, and that's your area, which approximates the size of North Carolina, if we were to draw the whole circle, right? So you could comfortably fit 10 million people inside that space. Here's the problem when you do that. North Carolina doesn't just count on what agriculture and livestock are inside North Carolina. You have some states in the United States where the population is very, very small, and they generate all this agriculture, and they have all this livestock, and they send that to the rest of the country. You've got Montana, Wyoming. You got these places. Iowa has a lot of cornfields. You have these places that have low population, so that they can grow all this food that supports these places with high population. That's how it works, right? Trade. Wyoming. Iowa sends corn. Wyoming sends beef. Texas sends beef. Texas is really large, even with the large population. So all this food comes from all these different directions into North Carolina with their 10 million people. The area in North Carolina, this 250-kilometer circle in North Carolina, is not large enough to support the 10 million people that live there. That's your issue when you get world building here. Now, we don't know how many people's in the city. I'm sure they'll tell us. But that's the thing you have to think about as a writer. Okay, we've got this area. You could comfortably fit 10 million people in there. Probably way more than that. Because you see the city. You see how all the buildings are crammed together. So if I was doing this, I would probably have a population of around 1 million people. Only 10% of how many people could probably be crammed into the city. And then the surrounding area would be all farmland and agriculture and stuff. Now we see another thing where they're gathering firewood. Man, that's a rough proposition. You're going to have to find some other way to heat your house because firewood is not going to work. I don't want to get on this. This is already long enough. This is probably going to be a separate YouTube video. I'll just cut it out and have a link to it and everything. Because I've been talking for a long time. But just real quick, there's a lot of where I live. The person is that owns the house is clearing off he owns about an acre, right? And he's clearing off a lot of the trees. The trees are really thick, so he's cutting them down, chopping them up, and I'm burning them. I've got a fire pit and I'm burning them. I'm making cooking meat and marshmallows and all kinds of shit like that, right? And the amount of wood I go through for one fire is substantial. Now, I haven't come close to running through all the wood he's cut down, but it could easily, in one summer, I could go through it all. So that's an acre of wood that he's literally chopping trees out. He's not just picking shit up off the ground, right? So in 3 months, I can go through an acre of wood for fire. And it's really been very surprising to me how little amount of time that the wood that I've gathered and put into the fire pit, how little amount of time it's lasted. It barely lasts long enough. I filled the whole fire pit up, and the fire pit's probably 4 foot diameter. I fill it up, and I barely have enough time to cook the sausage or the marshmallows or whatever before it starts going down. So if you have 1 million people and they all need firewood, you're not going to have any trees left, is what I'm saying. So these are the things that this probably sounds really ridiculous to worry about because it's about the story, stupid, right? But when the author has to think of this, the writer has to think of this stuff, the world building. You have to think about it. Does it make sense? Now, if it doesn't make sense, does it break the story? Does the Divergent series suck because the world building makes no sense? Probably not. I don't think that if it sucks, I haven't read them, but if it sucks, I don't think that's why it sucks. But it just shows the writer didn't care enough, right? And when the writer doesn't care enough about that, what else are they slacking on? What else do they not care about? And then the best stories, the world building makes sense. The world building is tight. In the Song of Ice and Fire, you have these long seasons. You have 3 or 4 years of winter, then 3 or 4 years of spring, and then three or 4 years of summer, and 3 or 4 years of fall, and 3 or 4 years of winter, right? So what happens is in the wintertime, there's less food, people starve to death, there's less workers. So there's more food, let's say springtime. There's more agriculture, and there's more livestock than there are people who are alive. So the price of food, like the price of a sandwich, is maybe one quarter of a gold galleon, right? The price of like a steak sandwich with some sides and some ale, right? Some meat. It's only a quarter of a galleon. In the summertime, now more people are being born, and or say the fall. Okay, in the fall, we've now had 10 to 15 years of moderate weather. A lot of food's been growing. Food is plentiful. There's a lot of people. Now you have more people than you have food, so the price of the food has gone up. This happens in A Song of Ice and Fire. When there's more people around, there's more people per food, the price of food goes up. So now the steak sandwich, the sides, and the ale costs 1 galleon instead of a quarter of a galleon. These are the things George R. R. Martin was thinking about. The prices rise and fall depending on how many people are around. You know, like in the Middle Ages, after the Black Plague, there weren't many people, so like the wages they would pay people, like a stonemason or something, increased, and the price of food decreased because there was so much food they're trying to get rid of it. Later, like 20 years later, there's a lot of people. The amount of food has stayed the same, so there's a lot of people competing for jobs. So the wages are lower because if you won't take the job, somebody else will. Meanwhile, the price of food has gone up because there's more people and less food around. You see what I'm saying? That shit happens in real life. People like George R. R. Martin and meticulous world builders, they think about this shit and they include it in their story. And they don't even say, he never said, hey, by the way, this is why I'm doing this. It took other people writing essays. I didn't think of this. It just took other people writing essays pointing this out. This is why in these two different points in the world, in the Hedge Knight, the Dunk and Egg stories, food is cheaper and wages are higher than they are 30 years later or 80 years later, whenever it is, when the main story takes place. Because the situations are different, right? So that's the kind of shit you got to think about. And so we'll see whether these world builders, how much time and energy they put into it, whether this shit makes sense. But that's just the thing. Like I said, this is a rabbit hole. That's why I'm doing this in a separate video. But it's, as a writer, if you're a writer, this stuff matters. And you spend a lot of time thinking about it that the readers don't see. If you're not a writer, you probably don't give a shit.